You know, for Meghan Markle, this was, if you remember, just less than a month ago now, while she was out in Colombia. This was her chapter of joy. And, you know, a lot of people speculated, well, what was the chapter of joy, you know? I mean, clearly she'd left the children behind again, alongside Prince Harry, as she had done in Nigeria, not wanting to share those wonderful special moments of joy with her own children. When you think about it, how often do you get to visit such marvellous places in the world? But this is a conflicting interest, isn't it now, with Meghan Markle? But it seems, oh, truly, that her chapter of joy, as she liked to call it, and kept saying that, you know, to make sure people understood this was a new start. Well, it's turning into something of a chapter of nightmares. How apt at the start of October. As ever, let me explain. Good to see you. You're right. I'm all right, thank you. And as ever, thank you so much for taking the time out to join me today. It is lovely to have your company. Yes, I'm talking to you. Are you all right? Not bad, thank you. Yes. Now, it's interesting, isn't it, by the way? Milton Bill, thank you so much for supporting that video. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? People say to me, oh, you know, do you remember meeting some of these people? When you're very young, it sounds strange, but it is. I've said this before. It's generational, isn't it? You know, the people that matter to you are the ones that are in your moment. Of course, I knew what a colossus of show business he was, but I didn't know. You know, he wasn't that. We didn't get it really over here. He wasn't a big name. It's a little bit like Ed Sullivan. We knew him because of the Beatles, but we didn't see that show. You see, they didn't broadcast things the way they do today, like streaming and digital. You couldn't find shows like that. I used to like All in the Family. Do you remember that? And of course, that was only shown on BBC Two for a few sort of series and then disappeared. It was a bit like Rhoda. They showed that for a bit and then that disappeared. You see, it's all generational, isn't it? Love all those shows. So I'm so glad that you do too. Back as ever, though, to your royal story of the day. Chapter of joy. Yes, I mentioned it, I know. Fascinating this because, as you know, Meghan was hoping for something of an easier time. There she was parading herself a little bit, shall we say, overexcitedly warm on the stage out in Colombia. And then things took a very dark twist because behind the scenes, unbeknown to Meghan, her staff were literally playing games behind her back. Now, I told you the other day about how tricky this is because certain staff members are currently looking into the fact that they may look at legal recourse regarding the situation individually, and as ever we have to say allegedly. But what's fascinating here is that literally, as Meghan and Harry thought they'd put all of this sort of stuff to bed, you know, the sort of stuff I'm talking about, the Hollywood Reporter, the bullying claims, a terrible place to work, well, you know, they've been told in no uncertain terms that don't push it, there is more. Now, one might say, of course, the editor of the Hollywood Reporter is being rather robust and basically fighting back. But apparently, according to the inside track on the Hollywood Reporter, he's doing it for all of those people that daren't do this and daren't speak out. He wants the veneer peeled back. And this is very, as I said, detrimental towards the former royal known as Meghan Markle. It will ruin the brand. There's no two ways about it. I told you about her American Riviera is now on ice, as it were, and seemingly the polo thing's a bit dicky too. So where did he go from here? Well, the problem is now they have to wait and see exactly what these people may or may not do that did contact the Hollywood Reporter. And moving forward, they have to make a decision based on that. For Meghan, these are very testing times and not one that she needs to be seen out in public wearing stress patches. That's what I've been told. If she thought it was over, clearly it's just the beginning. And this is October. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.